to another video. So today I'm actually going to be doing a discussion video, which I did say that I wanted to do more discussion videos on my channel this year. So that was kind of one of my goals for 2017, was to do more discussion videos. So I want to try to do at least one discussion video a month. I know this video is kind of going up on like the last day of January, but it still counts. So I do want to try to do at least one a month. We'll see how that goes. But today's video, what I want to talk about is how Booktube has influenced my reading. Kind of what books I read, what books I like to read, how Booktube has influenced that, and kind of seeing what are some of your thoughts on how Booktube has influenced your reading. I'll start off by saying I have found a lot of great books because of Booktube. There's so many amazing books that I might not have ever picked up if it weren't for Booktube. So, Divergent, The Fifth Wave, An Ember in the Ashes, The Wrath of the Dawn. These are all books that I absolutely loved, but I honestly might not have ever picked them up if it wasn't for Booktube, especially because I tend to judge a book by its cover. No, you're not supposed to, but I do. Let's be honest, I'm sure we all do. So, I tend to judge a book by its cover, and I'll tell you this, I was not drawn to the Fifth Wave cover at all. Don't really like that cover, but I picked it up because of Booktube and absolutely loved the book. So, yeah, I know it just reinforces the whole don't judge a book by its cover, but I still do. Probably will always do. But anyway, so that is one thing I wanted to start off with, because Booktube has introduced me to a lot of great books that I really love, and I'm thankful to Booktube for that. I will say a couple ways that it has influenced my reading is I read a lot of YA, a lot of young adult, and that's mostly because there's a lot of YA books that are talked about on Booktube, and a lot of Booktubers who read mainly YA books, no matter what age group you fall into. A lot of Booktubers that I've noticed read a lot of YA books, and so I've read a ton of YA books, which there's nothing wrong with YA books. I love YA books. I think about 95% of my shelves, of my bookshelves, are YA. I actually counted, I have 17 rows, or 17 shelves that are just YA books. So yeah, that's, about 95% of my bookshelves are YA books. And last year, I think, out of all the books I read like 58 books last year. And 44 of those were YA books. And then 5 were middle grade, 5 were nonfiction, and then 4 were adult books. So, yeah, I read a lot of YA. So, that's one way it has influenced my reading. And I talked about this in my 2017 resolution, bookish resolution video, but I really want to read more adult books this year and also more middle grade books, because as much as I love YA and there's so many great YA books out there, there are also a lot of great adult books and great middle grade books that I feel like I'm kind of missing out on, because I've been mainly sticking to YA. So I do want to branch out a little bit more and read more middle grade and read more adult, especially adult, because there are several adult books on my shelves that sound like super amazing and I really want to get to them, but I just haven't yet. But I really want to get to them this year. Hopefully this year will be the year that I get to them. So yeah, that's one way Booktube has influenced my reading. So like I said, with Booktube, a lot of Booktubers do talk about YA books, mostly YA books, which there's nothing wrong with that. If you're a Booktuber and you mainly read YA or talk about YA books, there's totally nothing wrong with that. But I find myself wanting to also branch out in terms of Booktubers that I watch and like finding Booktubers that, you know, read a little bit differently than what I read. So like, for instance, and I've mentioned before in one of my other videos, but I found Bree from Bree Hill, her channel, and she reads a lot of historical fiction, which is not a genre that I pick up that much, but I do really enjoy historical fiction, and from watching her channel, there's a lot of books that she talks about that I'm like, wow, that sounds really good. That sounds really good. I need to add that to my TBR. So pretty much every time I watch one of her videos, I end up adding another book to my TBR list because they just all sound so good, so amazing, and I definitely want to check them out. So that is one thing that I'm trying to do. As far as with watching other Booktubers, I'm trying to kind of diversify, I guess you can say, and watch more Booktubers that like read, you know, like other genres that I have an interest in, but haven't really picked up because I've just been so into YA and YA fantasy, because that's what we all see on Booktube. Like I said, nothing wrong with that, but it's been really interesting finding other other people's videos where they talk about the classics that they like, and historical fiction and horror, horror and horror books is another one that I don't really pick up all that often, but I do have somewhat of an interest in horror books, and Missy from The Binge Reader, I love her channel because she's got so many great horror recommendations, and there's still YA, a lot of them are YA horror books, but then there are some that are middle grade and some adult. So yeah, I really like her channel for that. So kind of just finding different people, like what different people read, and seeing like their recommendations. So yeah, trying to branch out a little bit more in those terms. Another way that Booktube has influenced my reading, I will say, is because I feel like a lot of books that are not really, like, I may have an interest in them, but they're not really talked about on Booktube, so they're kind of put on my back burner. Like I said, I have several adult books on my shelves that sound really, really good, really interesting, and I would probably love them if I read them, but they kind of end up on my back burner because I see a bunch of videos on all these other YA books on Booktube floating around. So, on Illuminate and Gemini, Six of Crows, um, you know, those that are talked about so frequently on Booktube, and I'm just like, I need to read these, especially Six of Crows. I've been seeing a lot of Six of Crows on Booktube, and it just makes me like, I need to read it. I really, really need to read it, and I'm sure I'll love it when I do, but, just that it kind of pushes some of my other books that, aren't really talked about on Booktube. It pushes those kind of on the back burner because I'm like, well, do I read this adult book that I've been wanting to read and I'm sure I'll really like? Or do I read Six of Crows, which everyone has been talking about and everyone absolutely loves, and I want to see what the hype is about and why everyone loves it so much. And so, yeah, it kind of pushes the other books to the back burner, like I said. So, that is definitely another way, Booktube has kind of influenced my reading, what I read. But like I said, I still really love this community. I have found so many amazing, great books because of Booktube, and I'm always going to read YA. That's not going to change. Um, like I said, I want to read more adult and middle grade, but I'm still going to read YA because I love this genre as well. So that's it for this video, you guys. That is kind of my discussion of how Booktube has influenced my reading. Let me know in the comments down below how has Booktube and what ways has Booktube influenced your reading. And yeah, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys soon with another video. Bye.